Hi everyone and welcome back to Colouring with Kay. Thanks for clicking on the video and I hope you do like it. So in this video it is the start of maybe a few parts. I'm not really sure how it's going to go, but I'm very excitedly going to do a buddy colour with Shell Arty. So her channel I will link in the description below. So this is my first buddy colour and we both really enjoy Kirby's books. So both agreed on working on a page in Worlds Within Worlds, and of course you probably already guessed because it was on this page when the video started. This is the page that Shell happily agreed to completing as a buddy colour. So I decided sort of how I'm going to approach this page, but first of all, just to let you know that I used the satin glazing liquid, golden satin glazing liquid on this page or double page. So I used 2 layers and I just used a flat brush, a cheap flat brush like this, and all I did was just take some of this out onto a tray and then just, you know, apply it like this and as evenly as I possibly can, and then I use a heat gun to dry the first layer, and after the first layer is dry I put another layer on and then dry it again, and you know, that seems to work well. So the reason I use the satin glazing liquid and gesso as well in the past is so that I can use watercolour media more easily, because it stays wet on the paper rather than getting absorbed in, so you can work with it a little bit more. And the watercolours that you use, particularly water-based pens, watercolour pens like the Tombow and the Arteza, what they're called now, you know which ones I mean, I can't remember now, really sorry. Oh yeah, that's it, Twi markers, it finally comes, right. So the Arteza Twi markers, they're all water-based pens that you can use more like watercolour, and they blend if you've pre-prepared the page. So anyway, I'll stop going on. So I did have a request also about what, you know, how I plan out a page. So what I'm thinking of doing with this is I want to do a watercolour background. I'll just show you this. Don't know if you can see it properly on my iPad there. I just like that background there with the sun and then some yellows, reds and oranges and a bit of blue and grey there. So I want to do something similar to that in this background. I know there's not much of a background, but that's what I want to do. And then I was thinking, so yeah, using watercolour pencils to do that. So I'm probably going to use a range of watercolour pencils. So I've got the 48 set of Derwent watercolour. So I picked out the few reds and orange yellows, and I'll pick out the rest of them once I start this. Then I thought the main dinosaur, this one here, I could use Neocolour 2 and some pencil shading, and the colours I was thinking was blue, purple and red, and then overlay it with some Galaxy Deco Art Galaxy glitter paint as well. Obviously I won't be able to do this all at once, and then use metallic paints as well on here, and also on the other dinosaurs use some of the Nouveau glitters that I recently bought. So anyway, instead of me, you know, talking at you and boring you to death, I'll just start with the pencils, the watercolour pencils, and see how we go. So I'm going to start with a bright, just picking the pencils out again, picking out a bright yellow sun. Right, so how are we going to do this? Let's have a look. I could make the sun there. Let's look at the picture. Or maybe this could go horribly wrong, but let's just see. And you know, when it goes horribly wrong on camera, that's even worse. But even if it goes wrong, hopefully the picture won't look too bad. It'll be a learning curve, won't it? So I'm going to draw my sun in here. Hope you can see this. It should bring you in a little bit closer so you can see where I'm working. So yes, I'm going to... Their sun is quite lightish yellow in the middle and then darker on the edges. You can make it how you like, because it is, you know, the dinosaur time, there weren't any people there to actually witness it, was it? So it can look like however you want it to look. Maybe this is dark, so put it on the edges. So I like to darken it around the edges, like so. So I hope everybody is doing well. This isn't a colour and chat, well, I suppose it is colour and chat because I'm talking, but it's definitely not a tutorial because I'm just not an expert enough to do that. I'm just like doing this as a buddy colour, and I thought it'd be just nice to record it because I'm always nervous when I have to actually colour on camera. So there we go, that's my sun. And then I'm going to put in a bit of, let's see, a bit of yellow colour in random places around it. Yep. I mean, if I was more confident I would have loved to draw in a volcano, but there's not really that much space in the background to do that. But I mean, if you're a good drawer, not like me, then that is something that you could actually do. So yeah, just bringing it around here. Hope I was on camera there. So yeah, we've got some, putting some yellows here. It's just going to fill this up. And I can always add other colours on top as and when. So this is a bright yellow, so I'm going to actually add that here, because my picture has got more bright yellow at the bottom there. Yeah, this book is just so lovely. I mean, it's probably one of, well, it is not probably, it is, just bring you out a little bit, it is a one of my favourite books. I just like all the pictures, and in fact I've done this picture already in my first copy of Worlds Within Worlds, which you would have seen on one of my videos. So it'll be nice to compare this pic with, you know, the earlier one. Right, so now what we're going to do, maybe add a few bits of in my book here. Maybe bring you a bit closer there. Add a little bit of yellow. So remember, it, you know, if you're trying to do something similar, there's no real method to this. It's just adding a colour where you think, where, you know, a bit of the colour here and there, and hopefully it'll all come together in the end. Right, so now I want to add in a little bit of orange now. So I'm going to use the middle chrome. So we'll just, I don't know, maybe add in a little bit there. So the reason why I chose these pencils rather than say watercolour pencils rather than say Neocolour is because there's so many small spaces, you know, as you can, oops, I'm off camera, I'm really sorry, I'm such an amateur when it comes to filming. The reason why is because there's so many small spaces that I just thought it's just going to be too much of a headache to sort of use Neocolour. I mean, I could use the brush on the actual Neocolour itself and do it that way, but I actually prefer to do it like this, you know, where you actually put the colour down on the page itself. Back off camera, maybe I'll just keep checking that I am in frame each time. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause and I'm going to pick out a few colours like greys and bluish colours because I want some of those colours here as well. Right, so I'm going to work on trying to add a few. This is like a silvery grey colour, adding something that resembles clouds. I probably won't be able to replicate it like it is in the picture, but I'm just adding a bit of grey in areas. It's raining away outside at the moment. Very wet day. Right, so that's a bit of grey there, and I'm going to add a bit of this very, very light blue. Really like this sky blue in the Derwent pencil range. I haven't actually found this shade in many other watercolour pencil sets, so it's quite a nice colour. I don't know whether you can actually hear the rain on the roof, the sound it's making. But it's really raining down hard. Right, so that's a bit of that, and I'm going to add a little bit of dark grey just to add a bit of contrast. Just on certain edges. So that's that. Moving up here, maybe add... Right, so what I want to do is I want to add some sort of... up here, some more grey there. Back to the light blue. Right, what I might also do is put the pencils there and get this, and also because it's further away from the sun, let's just add in the light blue here and a bit of the grey. So this will be my first layer, which obviously I can always add to as well. It's the best thing. Right. Okay, I'm going to shut up now and probably put some music on. Right, okay, so I've done most of this now and just put in random bits of colours that I've chosen. So the yellows, the oranges, the grey and the blues, and my sun, of course. So now I'm going to finish off by just going to complete the bit near the sun, which I haven't done yet, which I thought I'd do on camera. So bring you in a little bit there. Hopefully you can see it there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in some darker orange and reds near the sun. Now, like I say, I don't know how this is going to come out, but hopefully it'll come out nice. So I would imagine I want to put in these dark oranges and reds around this area, because that's what my picture looks like as well. So I'm going to have lots of fun editing this. It's going to take me ages to edit all of this to make something that isn't going to bore you to death. Right, so near the sun I want to just sort of drag out some of this reds, you know, near it. So that's it. It's okay. I just love the scenes with the sun in it. I just love them. Just think it's gorgeous. Right, so this is an even darker red now. I'll just put that in there. Near the bottom here. Right, don't want to overdo it too much. Right, that's it. Okay, now what I want to do is maybe use my dark grey. I haven't really been showing the colours and things like that, but bring it out. So I'm going to put in some, say, dark greys. Like if you look here, I have got some grey parts like this, so I'm going to just under the leaves just darken. I mean, this is how I colour, and I'm just sharing, you know, how I colour. You might think it's an okay way of doing things. It's just one approach. I mean, there's loads of lovely artists out there, you know, lovely colourists that create gorgeous pictures, and it's just a matter of sharing how we complete something. And if it comes out in a way that you really like, then, you know, it's just, you know, a good way of sharing it and trying it yourself if you like it. So really I'm just putting in some darker bits here, just to add a bit of depth rather than just having one colour. I'm also maybe going to put in the dark orange, say in some parts here. So yeah, that can go in there as well, and maybe here a little bit. And this. Even up here, you know, where you've got the blue, you can have little bits of orange, because that's, you know, the sky is very variable. It's not like it's one particular way, so there's no wrong way really. Well, that's what I think. I leave half of my colourings up to chance, because I really don't know. When I colour, I don't really have a picture in my head. I have a bit of an idea, but I don't really have, you know, this is how I think I want it to look. I just go with the flow, and you know, just if it, you know, the way it comes out is the way it comes out, and usually the case is that I like the way it comes out. So it's very rare that I don't, so I'm quite fortunate like that. And if you enjoy the process, you know, you can't really, you're getting something out of it. So anyway, that's bring you up. That's basically what I've got at the moment, and I'm going to use my trusted water brushes from Arty's. I've got I think I've got a thin one. I think this is the fine tip one. I think this is the fine tip one, and this is the medium tip one. So I'm going to use them both to add water. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to just use my water brush to start dissolving this. I'm going to start here and sort of see how we go. Usually I put a piece of paper underneath so you know I don't go on to the next page by accident. I bring it in a little bit, and then I'll start this off on camera so you can see me do a little bit of it, and then I'll do the rest off camera and then show you. Now this brush here that I'm using, the Arty's one, is I think it's the medium tip one, so I'm gonna actually switch to the fine one. Yeah, so this is the fine one. So these are the pencils that I used, remember, were the watercolour Derwent watercolour ones. And got lots of different colours here, so I want them to merge a little bit, but you know, not too much. So I've got this little tissue here to sort of get rid of the excess colour, so I don't merge the colours up too much, so that, you know, it ends up being just one big shade. Instead, you can see some variation. So, yep. So yeah, these are quite nice pencils. I've only started to use them recently because I don't know, I've just really been into watercolour recently, so I've been using my different pencils. So it's much easier to actually use water media on once you've pre-prepared your page with the satin glazing liquid, the golden satin glazing liquid. So yeah, I won't do the whole thing on video because obviously I don't want to bore you to death, unless I already have, which hopefully I haven't. So I'm coming towards the sun now, so I'm just actually going to go around it like this because I want the sun to be quite well defined, you know, as a round ball. Okay, so I'm going to carry on with this, sitting in front of the TV, and then once that's finished, I shall show you the finished piece in my next little part where we will start on the dinosaur, I think. So thanks so much for watching, and hope to see you soon. Bye.